Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about the newly announced FinalMouse Centerpiece. So this is a keyboard with a screen under it. This has been teased for years and we've known about it for years, but we finally got a trailer for it last night. And it's a really awesome concept having a screen in a keyboard, but I just want to talk about some issues this keyboard might have. So the price was rumored at $350. There's no proof for that. I just saw people talking about that on Twitter and it seems about right. So let's just talk about some keycap issues. So the keycap, the spring of the keycap and the actual keycap kind of connect together. So there's no real switch housing. I'm pretty sure it's just like the keycap is the switch housing. So my concern is that will cause a lot of stem wobble. So stem wobble isn't that big of a deal for me, but when it's like really bad, it does get annoying, and I think it's something that shouldn't exist too much on a keyboard meant for competitive gamers, which I'm pretty sure this is what that's marketed towards. So I actually made a tweet about this and I talked about some other issues in that tweet about this keyboard. So FinalMouse did actually see it and respond. They only responded to the specific stem wobble point. So they said they do currently have issues with stem wobble on the keyboard and they're slowly trying to tighten it. But my problem with this is that if there actually is stem wobble and issues with the keyboard, why are they so ready to release this? I mean, they've been waiting 3 years. What's another few months? And if this is an issue they're willing to tell us about, are there other issues with the keyboard that they're not willing to tell us about? Because they pretty much just admitted there is a issue with this keyboard. This issue they might not think is a big deal, so they were willing to admit it. But the question is, does that mean there are other issues, or does that mean I'm speculating? I just wanted to put that out there. In terms of other issues specifically that the keycaps can have, transparent keycaps can regularly have bad coatings, which make them very slippery, which is not ideal for gaming or pretty much any use at all. And that's why a lot of people just don't use them. In terms of transparent keycaps, they can also easily yellow. I haven't used a transparent keycap set long enough for it to yellow, but I have heard about it. I have seen it. And also, it's the same thing with transparent phone cases. I've had those yellow. They can just yellow over time. And FinalMouse is not new to yellowing. Their mice, like their ACEU and their Tarek mice, I've seen plenty of images of people's mice yellowing. So I did hear that in the video. I missed it, that they talked about like anti-yellowing. I just don't think that just because they talk about it means it's going to happen. Like, they clearly have yellowing issues, and I think it's really probably hard to take a transparent plastic and make it not able to yellow. So that's just something to think about if you plan on buying it. In terms of the keyboard layout, it is a very weird layout with some spacing. It's a 67% layout. It just doesn't make sense for a product like this. Like, the only way I can see that layout making sense is that they had to make that screen that specific size and they couldn't do other layout. If that's the case, that's fine. But otherwise, I just don't understand why they didn't do a standard 65% WKL or just a 75% layout. There are so many better layouts they could have done. I'm not sure why they picked that one, but as I said, it could be because they needed the screen to be that specific size. And if that's the case, that's fine. In terms of the case, I'm pretty sure they didn't say what material it would be. It looks like aluminum, but I can totally see it being plastic because if you think about it, the Wooting's $180, add a screen for another $170. I can definitely see them trying to get away with a plastic case, but hopefully it is aluminum because I just don't think anyone would want to buy a $350 keyboard with a plastic case, but only time will tell. That's just speculation. That's not something we can go after them for or whatever. I'm not trying to go after them. In terms of a marketing gimmick they use, so it's not really a gimmick, but they said the keyboard will come with a CPU and GPU, so it doesn't use resources from your computer, which is great, but I just don't understand why that's a main marketing point, why there's not other things they can use as a marketing point, because keyboards have been using that for years. I had a Keychron K8 Pro a few years ago, and it had a CPU to control the lighting and the software and everything. So it just doesn't make sense for that to be a main point because that's been for years. Like, why isn't there other things they could talk about? In terms of performance, so they didn't say anything about performance, but there is a screenshot I have of the Final Boy, which is the CEO of FinalMouse, and he did say it's going to beat the Wooting. I'm not sure if he's talking about performance. I'm not sure if he's just talking about sales, but I just can't see this beating the Wooting. Yes, it's been in development for years, but I just don't feel like it's going to. FinalMouse isn't necessarily the most innovative performance-wise, but hopefully it does because it is $350. I'm trying to be at least somewhat hopeful. In terms of FinalMouse, I think a lot of the community is kind of hating on the product because there's just a little bit of trust issues coming to QC and pre-ordering. They regularly delay orders, and they regularly have QC issues in terms of clicks and just a bunch of other stuff. Like the current FinalMouse mice that are trying to be shipped, the Prophecy, were delayed for like an extra 7 weeks or so. And in terms of, they offered people signatures on their box from the CEO in terms of compensation, which is just a weird move. Like, you're going to compensate people with a signature they don't care about. It's not even like from Pro Gamer, it's from the CEO. Like, I'm not trying to hate on their CEO or anything, but why would anyone want a signature from the CEO of a medium-sized mouse company? It's just weird. But overall, I'm not trying to hate on FinalMouse. I just want to bring up some issues because this is a $350 keyboard. I understand that first products do have some issues, but I feel like this could have a lot of issues, a lot of pre-order issues that a lot of people aren't going to want for $350. So I would recommend waiting till reviewers have this, waiting till we see how long their shipping times take and their QC issues to even consider buying this. But overall, that's pretty much what I'm going to talk about. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.